Now I'm going to be honest, not every game that I'm going to talk about is going to be amazing, and my Rad Gravity video proved that. But a game doesn't have to be fantastic in order to be enjoyable. A game can be simple and repetitive, but still fun when you're playing it with friends, and fun is really what video games are all about. So with that in mind, the game I'm going to talk about today is Space Invaders for the Nintendo GameCube.
Space Invaders was developed by Taito and published by Mastiff for the GameCube in April of 2004. As the name implies, it's a spiritual successor to Space Invaders, this time giving you the task of fighting off an alien invasion in ground combat. The game features a story mode that follows one of three characters: white guy, non-white guy, and girl, each with their own dumb plot filled with bad voice acting and lazy exposition. Who cares about the plot though, right? You get to mow down waves of aliens with guns. Throw that plot in the garbage, it doesn't belong here.
Whoa! It's taken over the body! Stay away!
The game's controls couldn't be simpler. The A button shoots, which is convenient as the A button is the largest button on the GameCube controller. You don't even need to tap A, you can just hold it down. You can only move side to side, just like Space Invaders, but now you can use the shoulder buttons to do a cool combat roll and escape from danger. If things get too hot and heavy for you, the X button will throw a grenade and the Y button will do a character-specific super move, both of which are limited by the blue gauge at the bottom of the screen. The story mode, and calling it a story is kind of ennobling it, will only take you about an hour to beat as the game features unlimited continues, but the real draw is to try to rack up as high a score as possible before you die. Take too many lasers to the face and your score resets to 0. I come from an age when a high score was still something to be revered, so if you're like me, this will be your prime motivation for tackling the campaign. The bonus spaceship from Space Invaders makes a return appearance, this time dispensing power-ups when it's blasted. Oftentimes there's extra health, but it can also be bomb power, a speed boost, super rapid fire, or a time freeze, allowing you to pick off aliens at your leisure. The three characters all play the same, although their weapons are different. Naji sports a rifle that's slow and powerful. Ashley packs dual pistols that are weaker but cover more ground and fire quickly, and Justin has a machine gun that's somewhere in the middle. Each stage consists of several waves of enemies before fighting giant boss aliens. They're super tough to take down, but they do have patterns that can be learned and exploited to your advantage. Just a heads up though, you will be fighting them all again in the last stage.
Now, Space Invaders is a really weird game, and even a lot of GameCube aficionados don't really know that it exists. I first heard about it when I was working at GameStop and somebody traded it in and we had no idea what it was. So we hooked up a GameCube because we really wanted to know what this really weird game was, and we wound up playing it for the entirety of our shifts, and the three of us were arguing over who was actually going to get to buy it when the shift was over. And, I won.
And that leads to the real reason you'd buy Space Invaders: the co-op. A game like this is always better with a friend, and Space Invaders is the penultimate buddies and beer game. It's something that you'll play by yourself only a couple of times, but kicking back on the couch with a friend and a few cold ones turns the game into much more than it could ever be as a strictly solo affair. And as good beer isn't cheap, luckily this game is. It rarely hits the $10 mark on eBay, and as long as you're paying below that, it's a great value. Space Invaders is a really weird, offbeat game that few have ever heard of, and it's not surprising as it's a very simple experience. While it's not going to set the world on fire, it's still an enjoyable game for high-score chasers and those who enjoy kicking back and playing something silly with friends. And hey, if none of that does it for you, there's always the shower scene. That's all for this episode. In order to keep up with what's going on with the Backlog, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, check out our website, and like us on Facebook. If you want to know what I'm up to personally, you can check me out on Twitter as well.